Well, good morning, ladies. I hope you're having a fabulous Australia Day. I have the day off work and home alone. Well, not really, but I'm going to scrapbook today. But I've seen some great cards made with the Stamp of the Month Pretty Little Things. And so I just wanted to jump on and share a couple of ideas to show you the versatility of the stamp set. So I'll just move that out of the way. I've got a couple of cards I want to show you using the Distressed Oxide inks. So I'm just going to grab some scrap paper. I've tried to do a little bit of prepping beforehand so it's not a long video. I have used a thin cut circle, and I've used the stencil film. Just grab that. It's probably not great with the reflection. You don't have to use it. I like it because you can actually see through it. But you could use cardstock. You just can't see your placement of it. And you probably don't need as large a piece as what I've done, but I wanted to cover the whole white mat. So I've kept the circle because I want both pieces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to colour the circle first and work out where I want it placed, which is about there, right of center. So think about that. So I want it off the sheet, and I'm using a mustard seed color. So it's basically going to be a sunset. Rubbing all that over, getting a nice coverage. That's pretty good. Put that aside, and then we're going to take that off. Now I can reuse this sheet. I just need to wipe that off, and then it's good to use another day. That's the great thing with the stencil film. So I'll just put that out of the way so it doesn't get stuck on anything else. And then I'm going to grab my circle now, and I'm going to cover that so I don't colour over the top of it. And then I'm using spiced marmalade. Just a darker orange. I tend to, I didn't do it with the yellow, but I tend to just rub the excess off the paper, just so you don't get that heavy dark circle to begin with. And with the Distressed Oxide, you can just keep making them as dark as you want. I'm just holding that circle in place. I certainly love the Distressed Oxides. They just are so versatile with how you use them. I did a whole lot of cards before Christmas, and I thought, oh, I'll jump on and share it, but it never eventuated. They're still sitting on the side where it's just like, oh, I'd like to do a video on that. So another day. Okay, I think I'm pretty happy with that. So I'll just lift that off. So my placement of my circle wasn't brilliant because I've got a little white edge. So let's see if we can try and lift that up a little bit. Cover it. See if that worked. That is not too bad. Just move this over here. Just want to get rid of the hard white circle. That is not too bad. So we're going to move that out of the way so it doesn't stick to anything either. And move my scrap piece of paper. Okay, now with Distressed Oxides, I might actually grab another scrap piece of paper. So I've even cut into that one. They react with water, so we just want to get a bit of a speckled effect. Now you can do this a couple of ways. I've just used an old stamp cleaner bottle and filled it with water, just so I have it in my kit ready to use. So you can actually, you know, just spray like that and get, it will soak in to show you. Maybe not. Or if you want bigger drops, I usually squirt it into my fingers and drop it on like that. But I just want to do a light spray. Grab another piece of dry scrap paper. And I'm going to do it from a bit of a height. And you can actually use a paper towel just to soak up those blotches. So you can see that it's lifted the colour. Maybe a little bit over here. It's not an exact, but it's all about a little bit misty. Not quite sure if I can go in and lift that colour up a little bit. Because it was such fine, it grabbed all the colour. But that's pretty good. I'm going to get a couple of blobs over here. I guess that's the beauty of mixed media, that you really can't replicate things. You know, if I wanted to do the same card multiple times, it's very difficult to say, oh, I'll get the blobs here. So that's pretty good. I think I'll leave it at that. That's not a very good backing sheet, is it? So I'm going to stamp on this one. Now, when you stamp on Distressed Oxides, it will go lighter because it's, again, it's liquid going onto the colour. So it will go lighter, but I've actually, we're not going to be colouring in on this particular image. I actually wanted to put my Facebook on so I could see if anyone was joining me. So let me have a look. Perfect. So I just move that up so you can see it. Now I actually want it off the edge of the paper. So I'm just going to put just a little bit of backing. So I want the grass on the edge of my cardstock, and we'll sort of put him in the middle there. I do love my this stamping mat because even the best stampers don't always, it doesn't always stamp nicely the first time. So you just place everything in. There's a magnet to hold it in place, and then you put ink on your stamp. And then we smoosh it on. So I'm going to do this a couple of times to try and get as dark an image as I can, because it's reacting again to the the Distressed Oxide. That is pretty good, I think. So just clean that up. Take him away. So we've got our little bunny in the sunset. So I have prepped. I've just realised I have prepped one in advance and coloured him in, but I have forgot to colour the flower. So let me just quickly add a little bit of colour. Red flower. Okay, so the colours that I used, let me put on white paper. The colours that I used were the brown grey blend. Let me just put it up that way. I put a little pink on his whiskers there, and that is the pale pink blend. I also put little pink under his sole of his foot, and white, even though I stamped it on white cardstock, probably not pick up on the camera, but I've actually added just a little bit of texture using the jelly roll white pens that we have, and then I've just used the dull green blend for that, the stalk of the flower, and the coral shades for the flower. So I'll just move those out of the way. Now I will add on just using a journal pen. I'm just going to darken up the bottom of the grass there, so it just goes right to the edge. Obviously my placement wasn't brilliant, so we'll just colour that in a little bit. Just make that grass a bit darker there. Pretty good. You can see I've got it all. And I might just use, so this is just the classic black in the markers. I'm just going to run just along the edge of where that grass is, and that should just get rid of any of the colours, the edge that I've missed. And then we just place our little cutout on top. Is that not the cutest? Now I think I'd like a couple of blobs just there. So let me just big. Probably a little bit big, but that's okay. Sorry, you're getting a shot of my arm. Want a little one there. That's a bit better, I think. Okay, so I'm just going to stick my little rabbit on. So just with the finer parts, I'm just using the glue pen, so that will get the flower sticking, and his whiskers. Now I cut off some of the whiskers or the hairs because it's just too hard to maybe you might be better at cutting out. On there. Just get rid of some of that tape runner. Okay, and then we just match it so you can see that the little hairs that I've cut off, you can see from the stamping, and the whiskers of the little baby rabbit. Oops. I'll just get my rub and erase, and that will just quickly lift some of that tape runner. I just find using the tape runner, you don't have the issue of the glue showing. At least you can rub the tape runner off. And there is our cute little card. I would mount it on black cardstock and then put it on a card. I wasn't that organised, but so let me just quickly cut that. 5¼ inches. And there is our cute little rabbits going into the sunset. And then you could put whatever sentiment on it, you know, up here or along on the side. But isn't that cute? So I'll finish that later and post it up. And then the second card, I've already stamped him, and again I'm using the watercolor paper because I saw, I'll just leave that scrap there. I saw someone use the Distress Oxides inks to colour in. So I haven't done this in advance, so I really don't know how this is going to turn out. I don't know if you would think that you could squash it on the lid. So maybe someone has done this at home already. So feel free to share your pictures. So this is just a new, like I said, I have never done this using the oxide inks, so let's just give it a whirl. And again, because you're using water, that's why I've used the watercolor paper. And like any form of painting, you can, you know, add depth by just going over it and adding more colour on top. Hi Katrina. Yes, I love this stamp set. I love the cows too. Just wish I had more time to play. So I'm only giving him a fairly light wash. Only because I really didn't know how it was going to react. Oops. So we'll just give him a bit of shade. If you need guidance in where to shade, if you just pretend that you've got, you know, the sun, if the sun is shining here, then this side of the bear is going to be the lightest, and so this side is going to be in the shadow a little bit. I also use some of the stamp as a guidance. So, you know, he's got some extra lines here sort of signifying that, you know, it's a little bit darker. And obviously, you know, where he's sitting, oh, you have to paint your craft room. Awesome. Well, you have to share some photos. So where he's sitting, it's obviously going to be a little bit darker because there's his body's casting that shadow. We'll just put a bit of shadow there. He's got shadows in his ears. Not quite sure what colour to make his stomach. Just add a bit of colour. Looks a bit pale there. Might just do very light squiggles in his stomach, so he's got a bit of a lighter stomach. So I'm going to do the leaves. So we'll move. That was the vintage photo colour that I used, and this is Mowed Lawn. Sorry. Stems are very hard to do. I just try and, you just got to commit. So just lift your brush up a little bit. It's just, I guess it's just giving the eye, you know, we already see colour by looking at that flower. We already know that it's got green leaves, so it's just adding that touch to the leaf, so it doesn't have to be perfect. We'll add our bee. I'll just use a little bit of the mustard seed. That's a bit different. Some yellow wings. And I think I'll add the mustard seed as the centre of the flowers. Move my water so I'm not constantly going across the camera. I think we might have some red flowers. So this is the candy apple. Water off that. come back and fix the other one up. I like bright flowers. But I could leave it soft pink if I wanted to. Now I do also have the water pens, which I often use when I'm using the coloured pencils, painting with the coloured pencils. But I just wanted to have a bit more control of the water with this. So that's why I'm using the paintbrush and the good old fashioned cup of water. Almost done. Just go back and fix him up. Okay, one to go. Perfect. Love it. Clean my brush up. So, just move that. I hate water cups on my desk, so I'm just going to move that off my desk completely. And we'll put all these out of the way. So we've got our gorgeous little bear, and then just really simply, now if you don't have a steady hand, you can use rulers as a guide and things like that, but I just do it freehand. It just gives it a more natural look. So I'm going to turn my bear upside down, and we're going to create a border, and I'm going to roughly keep it that distance, which is about 1/4 of an inch in old terms. So we're just going to, let me just get, and it's just, you just got to commit, ladies. So it's just basically the dot dash. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Because I'm using the watercolor paper, it's got a rough texture, so not that I'm giving an excuse, but it's just rougher to draw on. And I'll just grab the mat from the other card that I made just to show you. And you could use a red mat if you wanted. Let's just put on some white paper. And you could stamp a sentiment here or use it as a tag that comes out. But isn't that cute? So simple. We've just stamped on just plain cardstock, and we've painted it up using the Distress Oxide inks. Put a little bit of a border around. Super cute. It could be a note cards. What a great gift idea. You know, a set of these pretty little thing stamps. done like this as a note card, a set of note cards. So I love these. I'll turn those into cards a bit later on. I want to get in and do some serious scrapbooking today. So I hope whatever you're doing today, it's something that you love, whether it's out with the family. But yeah, enjoy Australia Day, celebrating, doing the things that you love. Thanks, ladies. Thanks for watching. Bye.